what an answer back from NRG as they take the map. And I have to say, going into that halftime, if you would have told me NRG would have come back the way that they did, 8 rounds in a row before they finally dropped one, I would have called you a darn liar. But here we are. This is where we live, and now NRG's up in the series 1-0 as we get ready for Haven. Welcome back, everyone. Golden Boy here, alongside with Mimi as well as Mel. And already out of the gate, you know, I just want to talk about that freaking attack from NRG was a thing of beauty, Mimi.
I mean, it was beautiful. It started strong with the pistol. Artist wins a clutch on the bonus round to keep it rolling. And after that, it was just a beautifully called half from Finesse. In particular, I think when they got onto these sites in their post punts, they're so good at adapting in the late round, at taking that pause, being patient, waiting for Furia to make a mistake, and then taking advantage of it. It was so beautiful.
I mean, we were saying it at the halftime, we know this is going to come down to NRG's attack and their calling, and it's like textbook. It's like clockwork. It happens every time.
Yeah.
Every single time. You're expecting it not to happen, but it's like the same thing over and over. You're just seeing them come on the attack halves. They're weak in the first. They fix up their mistakes, and the calling is just impeccable.
It reminds me of that Icebox game they played at Lock-In, where they went down, I think 10-2 or 10-2 or something like that, and Finesse just told his teammates, hey guys, give me 2 rounds. We're going to come back and win this. I got you on the attack side. It felt like it was the exact same thing.
Yeah.
In that game, they ran a flawless attack side on Icebox to win it. And here too, with Bind, it is just the same deal. It's wild, the consistency at which they can win games like this.
Wouldn't be shocked if in the comms, Finesse was like, give me 4 and we'll win this game. Or give me 3 rather and we'll win this game. Look at that. I'm gaslighting. I'm still thinking we're at 8-4. All right, but Mel, I understand though you have a telestrator you want to break. You're a Melistrator that you want to break down here. What do you got for us?
I mean, we've talked time and time again about how FNS's calling is impeccable. He gets them onto free sites, but I kind of want to talk about how NRG takes these advantages that FNS puts them in and actually converts the round. So I'm gonna look at a post plan. Really briefly, I do want to go over the situation that they're in here. They're going into just a B hit. They have multiple ults. We see really big info ults, so Sky ult, and we also see a Reckoning, which is an info and a stun. And both of these ults actually feed into the Raze ult, because the Raze ult can get that information of exactly where they are and go in. Something you can go for your ranked games as well here. But here we're just gonna see him go in with the dog. Speed up a little bit here. He's just gonna ult off the dog here, but if something you wanna do in your ranked games, if your duo is playing Sky or Harbor, using that ult combo can be really effective. So as we see here, not much reaction for the site. You see them pause here. FNS is calling for a little bit of pause, see what their reaction is, and now they're gonna go in with the Sky ult and the Harbor ult combo. We're gonna see, as FNS is getting kind of picked here on the lurk, really good awareness by DJ Jean here, we're gonna see that Sky ult and that Reckoning come out, and you're gonna notice there's no pings and the cabbages go into spawn. So before the bomb even goes down, before the spike is even planted, you're gonna see they're gonna go into elbow immediately because they know that space is free. And so you wanna recognize these opportunities in your games as well. So here they are. You see them sprinting, knife out. They know exactly how much space there is to control. And now Mazin, he's getting that counter control, right? He sees that Sky Flash, he sees the Sky Cabbage, and Som's gonna take this really great spot here up on the box. And look here, Furia is calling all their members into elbow. And NRG is here as well. It's looking like to be an all-out duel here between 4 different members of both teams. But instead what happens, and I love this from NRG, is that they have dynamic post plants. They are not static. They recognize that Furia is going to try and come over here and clear them out. So what they end up doing is they actually go back site, and they're going to be looking for the weak side of the retake. And it's just brilliant from them. So they're just going to hold here for a moment, see what they do. And again, this is part of the dynamicism of their post plant. There's no reaction. And so as Furia is slowly trickling out of elbow, they're gonna call it 3, 2, 1, and they're actually gonna pop flash right here. And they're all gonna triple swing this angle together, being completely disruptive. Furia is thinking, oh, we have elbow, we're walking out. But NRG seems every step of the way expecting these plays. And it's just something that can't all just be on FNS. This is all of the core of NRG. Everyone is communicating here, and it's just beautiful to watch.
Wow, unreal stuff. And thank you so much, Mel, for that breakdown. And it just goes to show, right, the layers that we have for this team. And it also takes us to our Aim Lab shoot-around. We got Artis here, gives us time to continue to talk about what Mel discussed, as well as what we're going to be seeing coming up here, as well as Artis' individual performance. But yeah, Mimi, just the layers that this team has. Every player contributes to that system.
Yeah, it's really great. And we've talked a lot about the roles for this team. On Bind, it's generally going to be that Raze being locked in for Victor, like we saw. But now heading into Haven, this is where they've gone back to normalcy, and we'll get to see Artis back on the jet role that he has been incredible at. And Mel, harkening back to your point about the calling, about how good it was from Finesse, how dynamic they are in those late rounds, in those post plants. Haven, if anything, I think is the map where they demonstrate that the best. They've been so good on it throughout the split.
I mean, it's an IGL's playground, and we're talking about Artis. We saw him on Sage, which he's a great Sage, and he's shown that before, but now we're seeing him on Jet in combination with the fact that Haven is just a great map to call on. There's so many gaps that you can use, create, and exploit. It's going to be really tough for Furia going into this.
I doubt that we'll see any changes from NRG, but my question is, which comp does Furia go for? We've seen them play the more normal double initiator with the Sky into a Jet. We've also seen the Harbor Viper, and they're actually returning to the composition. Last time they played this one was versus Fnatic. They took them to triple OT, almost beat them. We're an inch away from winning that map. It's a really cool comp that they actually used even before Loud did.
Yeah, that was the game that made me a Furia fanboy, and now I'm really excited to see this, kind of get brought back into this. Mel, do you feel like we'll be going to Game 3?
It's possible. It's entirely possible, and I think if Furia can get this edge here, they can have that hot start, but close, that's where it's going to be important.
All right, well, let's go ahead and kick off map 2. We're going to send it back over to Vansili and Rivington for the cast.
Thank you, Golden Boy. Yes, we are moving into Haven now. We're going back to our roots as well for Furia. The double controller play that brought Fnatic to triple overtime that Mimi has been talking about. But even when they went to a different comp, the last time that they played it and they won here at the VCT Americas against EG 13-7, they just went for the regular, putting Matzine on a different role, and it worked out. But this double controller here might be the saving grace to bring this to a third map against NRG.
I do actually love the way that Harbor plays on Haven, the kind of the way that Cascade can cover a long push. It's almost perfect size, and then a few other of the lanes or avenues that you would be taking a site. You get such good space to clear forward, and that's what you can do with these long extremities, is use that Cascade to take all the space you want. But not having the breach is always a question. Here's one right towards window. All towards 8 to start off here. Sonar really lets them know that it's clear to go in, but they're facing Killjoy kill utility, all stacked on itself for this dash in, ready for it.
No armor play, so you get a full utility.
There it is.
And Khalil capitalizes on the first blood into the round. The dash canceled out by Artis. And with the high tide coming out, NRG is starting to fall back.
Look at the push already from Digizine.
Yeah, all that information out towards grass. He's waiting there, trying to see if there's going to hear some footsteps. For NRG, it doesn't matter. They can take their time. There's still a turret watching that flank.
Right.
So they have an opportunity to cut noise. And while they're cutting noise, though, Furia will understand as well that NRG are not going to really be falling back because of that position from Digizine. Oh, the fake clear, but at least a recon dart does get the ping onto the defenders into the A site. Somehow we answer back for Furia. It's up to Crashies on a 2 versus 1. Gets the second onto the board, back into a 1v1.
20 HP.
No information where Digizine is at. So he goes for the plant. Digizine activated the tailwind, and there's the shot. Oh, Crashies almost made it out safely, but it's still the piss around for Furia.
Yeah, I thought the Furia Frenzies were going to come out on top as well, and then Crashies comes around with some really big kills, cleaned up by Digizine, so that's going to feel good. He's 2 towards Blade Storm already. And they weather a storm of a pretty strong energy A hit there. Didn't have too much of the short control to start. They wanted to gain everything about the alt orb. And that Molly setup coming in from Khalil really put a damper on things when NRG actually tried to execute on the site. Following this second round now. Still towards A. Looks like we get a turret rather towards mid. So we'll be seeing Victor kind of stay back on this strategy to start.
Placing swarm grenade. Alarm bot out.
And with the plant that we got for NRG, a 1 versus 1, no force buy coming out for the attack. Playing the patient game, and those high tides, those cascades, can be very difficult to get some early value here.
My double's dead.
NRG looking to gain map control somewhere else after the loss of Artis, and being greeted by good positioning from Furia so far across all of their default spots. You walk into something, it's always something waiting for you here for NRG.
There's so many options with the utility that they use, right? You have the high tide coming out on one side. You can get the push there from Mazzine, because even if the high tide doesn't work, you have the Viper wall behind it. There's layer on layer of defensive strategy that they're working around, and NRG is just starting to see. So we'll see how much they can cooperate to get around it. The start towards A seems to be everything for NRG.
Yeah.
I think that's because Furia does love the push. They're going to be short. They're going to be long. They're going to be playing for that orb. So NRG at least wants to be able to feel that out and not give up this space for free. We've seen 3 rounds start with the majority of the members here today. Right down Digizine with the Marshall. But it won't be as much of a fight for short here as it is for long. They're defaulted here with as much as they're pushing still, and space being taken.
And there's no dash away. It's the all drone. Is it going to clear?
Hello.
Blocking sight.
Makes it away at least back towards sewers as a Trailblazer comes out towards long. Stopped by Artis. So a bit of information, a bit more information for Furia as they backpedal into an A site. Lean. But the call right now for NRG is trying to move back towards mid.
Yeah, a little info grab there from Victor, seeing if he can get maybe a footstep or someone to push out due to that Molly displacing them. So you can see even across the map, if you don't have Initiator util, they're still trying to figure it out, and that is a blind Mazine right now.
Oh,
He actually gets a little bit of safety here as it's a feint for B. I think they're still going to want it though on a re-hit.
and a high tide gave an opportunity for a crossfire setup for the defenders. For Furia, flash to try to peek out. And this W0 finally connects onto Artis. Spectre kill. As once again, another attempt from Artis to clear the site.
30 seconds
Unfortunately, no space gain. Another one in a column of first deaths. For the rest of NRG, though, with 20 seconds left, moving now into the C site. Crashes opens it up at least for one. But there's still one hiding inside of this pit. And finally, should I say the poison orb is stopped here by Som. 10 seconds left on the clock, having to come in for a plant. Finally comes down. But it's planet safe. Rashi's off, the Nebula coming through. Somehow, Digizine with the Spectre gets the pick off. Som answers back, aftershock to try and clear out the defender's push. As now Som spots both of them. We'll get the support from Finesse as they're trying to go for the jiggle in the crossfire setup. And now with the swing out, they're able to hold it finally for NRG to get the round.
That was a big one. That was a 4v5 conversion there for NRG with Artis going down first for a third time in a row.
Yep.
Not able to stop them that much, though. NRG still finds the win to get into sight and put Furia onto this now buy round with the operator. Again, for Digizine, it comes out so quick and just starts to change the flow of the game here. Furia grabbing pistol, gives them a few rounds to start. That pistol is the first of their series. So if they can keep it going on this fourth round after the bonus, they're going to feel very good about the start of this Haven map against NRG, which, like we've been saying, it's their playground. This attack half is going to be pretty treacherous as we get into it. Furia has to be on their game.
Yep. Because if Finesse rather could do some impeccable calls on this map of Haven. And early in this round, we have the operator out for Digizine. NRG committing into a plant for B-side, and that's the fourth first death here for Artis. Unlucky there, they got picked through a smoke as Digizine goes for the push and the flank from behind. Position given away here as Som finally gets the pick.
Aftershock, getting half.
A little bit of a delay, still have a star up there. So Som has an opportunity to lay a little bit more. 6 cents there for Khalil. Identifying the push from Finesse coming through.
Body blockers.
Yeah, this is going to be the defuse in for Furia. And those cascades are going to be very annoying to play against here on those retakes. Or at least against the when you have the pulse plant rather on the attack on the B site.
Exactly. A lot of times that smoke can just kind of be clear jump or people are still in mid. But yeah, Cascade just deletes everything. And when you try to come out of it, you're even easier to shoot because you don't have the movement. It's really troublesome. Furia able to stop NRG there very nicely. It just becomes a spam fest. Now towards C, NRG's first switch of the map. Looks like we're going to run a few through garage here and make sure mid control is not given up. So they might move faster because they have, like I said, they've been on that A main, keeping control.
Well, that was a nice ping coming out too, so Artis finally is able to open up with 2. Redemption on the first few rounds as QCK still holding towards the back of the site. Fully blinded, hiding inside the poison orb, gets a second kill into the round. Support comes in as he gets picked up by Crashes with the shock darts, but that's still MW0 in the back there. Back and forth, we move out, pendulum swings. As it's up to Matzine on a 3 versus 1. In favor of NRG. And as it comes out from the cascade, Only a 1 versus 1 is needed for NRG to win that round off of Thrifty.
Yeah, and they push straight through, not giving Furia really any time to react at first. Great control of Garage, really making it only one avenue to retake the site because there was no time for a flank to come through at the pace of this round. Nice play by QCK there. This is an orb that he died in last time because he was fault blind off his position. But he's kind of trying to adjust to what NRG's doing on the site. We'll see if NRG starts to change that too, having used that same take now.
Get out of my way.
We'll watch on the right side by Victor. And more of a push from Furia on that A site.
They cleared a corner with the updraft, but still the right click comes in for Khalil. Finally, Artist moves forward with that judge. And now finally we stopped the bleed and there was an opportunity there. Double swing coming out from A main. We get the plan down. Maybe it's not over yet here because now 2 weapons are coming out from the rotate. Artist then pushing forward into the B side spot. The last one wants to continue with the judge. Gets the dink and W0 is down to 60 HP. Not really in a position to play a Hunter's Fury on a pulse plan, so you have to be on your toes for both of these players of NRG.
What a cool setup.
Wow.
What a cool setup. Crashies obviously makes Sam aware if anybody comes through Garage, and Crashies just gets a quick shock dart and knocks it out of the park. Big play by Victor there, even though going down delayed 3 members of Furia over at A. Means NRG kind of runs through here with the rest of their members to be able to take this C site, which they've now focused quite a few rounds in a row, and now we'll put Furia on a timeout.
Nice call there. Good communication from the last 2 players on that previous round. Hearing those footsteps coming out from the rotate, allowing that prediction of the shock darts to get the kill. But this is an early pause now coming out from Furia. On the first map when we played, it was really NRG that was trying to find their footing ever since they got ecoed on that second round. And this time around, when NRG had their money right from the get-go, from the beginning on their first buy round, it's been NRG's story.
Yeah, still getting a plant on that round 4, but it was diffused. So you can see that NRG being able to make it into the site, penetrate through that Furia defense. And their setups have been a bit stronger now with the speed they're hitting the site, not allowing Furia to get into a setup that could flood or even retake with that much effectiveness. The chats are over, back to the game, and we are going to be in after this. Little bit of buy time. The operator's now out for Digizine, so we'll see how he continues to reposition and re-peak. 2 stars going out towards A to give Furia something to think about, something to play around, and maybe even Artist something to get a kill off of here, as it looks like they want to get out into A. Big lurk by Sam for this round.
On the other end, Cascade on the defender's side to block the window. Flash out to get the early info. And with the early info, it's a high tide to try to slow down the pace.
Off your feet!
Block the information, but it's the execution instead of NRG.
So
Rolling
quick.
Thunder into the site, the dash. Now we observe that the site's clear. But the reckoning comes in here for the
How's
retake.
the lockdown game work? Lockdown number 2, when? Where? They're just buying time right now. It's not been planted, so the lockdown is kind of fizzling out here. They obviously won't see any members of Furia coming back in, but they are going to receive a lockdown of their own here from Khalil.
Meanwhile, though, Som has been picked off when he was trying to go for that lurk on long C. So the
Hunter's
advantage
Fury
comes in. Hunter's Fury to stop the lockdown. That was placed down by Furia. But with that, though, we're still storming in, flooding into the site. 2 kills comes out for MW0. A key player for Furia's success on Haven. So now we have to play through the high tides, through the sprays. It's planted for them. They're trying to get the reloads and the kills. Finally, Victor gets them
More
both.
spams?
One enemy remaining.
And make that even a 3rd, and that's gonna be, once again, the deadly duo of Victor and Crashies.
Always feeling comfortable playing around each other. Team to team, it's never changed, like riding a bike for them too. A tandem one, obviously. It's good to see them still working together so well. Crashies having some rounds for himself here, and Victor adding on to it. 4-3 now for NRG as they start to string those rounds together. A lot of ults used on that round, though. Making sure they can secure it, giving Furia all the respect they deserve here on these retakes. Again, to a bit of a default. Is this an alt orb for long grab? Looks like they'll at least try to push QCK off, doing a bit of damage on both sides to start off.
Oh my gosh.
Digizine's pushes never fail.
Woo! The hat trick now.
What?
He's not going to cheer yet because we're still alive in the game here, but those are some clean
He
shots.
gets 2 more. You get Pincata's Sheriff face on watch. Oh my word. Push through mid here. Finesse now trying to work the map, hoping that that kind of disruption of favor got Furia out of position, but they're still very aware, very ready, Mazine, to grab the last 2 kills of that round. And NRG absolutely shut down on a low buy from Furia.
This is what I used to like to call the silver up. When you actually didn't have the up in the beginning.
My
You could
God.
do a lot of damage with this one as well, especially at that distance. Second ego of the series now for Furia to bring that momentum back
Yes.
as they played a defensive half.
That's huge. That's huge. We kind of see it not similar to the 4v5 stat, but when they're down, they're taking more time. They're trying to get ahead of their opponent and figuring out what the best course of action will be. There, Digizine, 3 headshots. Can't go wrong.
That's what they talked about during the timeout.
That's what they Digizine go. I mean, it's not wrong. That is the strat here for Furia 90% of the time.
It always seems to be a high tide in a reaction to hearing the owl drone coming out from Crashies. Just to not allow to get the dash coming in from Artist behind the owl drone. As this is another duo that works in tandem to try to gain that early space. Ooh! That is nice there from Artist.
Almost a pair of haircuts.
But with that though, yeah, exactly, for NRG, we're not reacting on this yet. And finally, as we're trying to see where the util is coming from, to push now inside the C site. Seekers now to hold some players back. But this is all Artist selling a fake for Victor to open up the A site. That's the pit down and an opportunity for NRG to work into an open site.
30 seconds left.
Just out of range? Or is that smoked out right now? They just walked past the alarm bot here as they got themselves into B. Just able to hold off any rotation that Furia is going to have. Yeah, they're trying to get to a save position at this point.
Nars is trying not to allow anybody to save.
Okay.
And as he looked down to call onto the gun the second time, NW0 catches him off guard. No matter what, though, it will be a plant coming in for NRG. And at least Finesse is chasing him down. Understanding that they have the money to work with for a bit.
I love this. They're pinging the op. They're like, do not let anyone grab this. They're just covering Digizine's rifle there. And the Ruzera has it. The hunt begins. Found it. Oh, on the run out.
Just ran out like a Euro clone.
Yeah, he didn't expect it. Oh my gosh. Just running straight out. They won't expect this. And they drop the operator. NRG just making this so much harder for Furia to come back. And Furia only doing it on the eco rounds.
Yeah.
It's not going to work every time. Artist does keep that operator, though. Usually we've seen NRG just going with rifles here throughout this Haven match, but operators grabbed, lockdown, 1 off, and we may see an alt orb worked here. Artist is going to just go mid. I think this is work off Artist's pick for now, and then NRG fans out. Mid pressure from long A pressure from Furia, and a contact on the guiding light.
And yet, despite them getting 2 rounds on the eco, thankfully for Furia, they've won that pistol and converted from that pistol to keep this game close. And another Laura buy coming in for Furia into this round. 2 hero rifles and pistols. As Artist couldn't get any value off the operator. Gets picked off early. So he was looking at the top of the B site. Didn't expect the swing from Matzine into the front.
Right, he was definitely looking up, thinking Digizine would be playing a little funky on a Blade Storm. They're still A.
Storm. 2 players now inside the C site for the defenders. Alarm bot. Nanostorm's already been popped off. There's that first kill and the spray through the smoke. Matzine, 3 into the round. And what's left are the pistols and the Blade Storm, at least, from Digizine. That's going to run the clock down for a bit, but the spike has not been planted yet. So still a great opportunity for Furia, rather, to flood back into the site. And the Bazira yet to have a flash. And the Blade Storm comes in for the kill. Up to Finesse.
Oh, just at
The
safety.
flood in. The
One.
first kill. Rolling Thunder available.
Oh, they tried
Looking
to
for the
right-click.
safetiness
He has that Rolling Thunder.
of the
man.
garage here after that kill indeed. So he's just going to wait, potentially pop it off the tap. But off
Didn't
the tap
expect it.
decides to swing out first, and Digizine gets the kill. The Thrifty comes in.
Dash in. Quick defuse. Did you say the Thrifty? Oh yeah, the Thrifty. What? How does Furia keep doing this? I was joking when I said they're only doing it on the low buy rounds, but they are making a statement with it right now. NRG has to find a way to lock this out, and Chet's gonna go ahead and give a word on that to the team right now.
Yeah, because those last two ecos that were won there by Furia came down to those two players that we just saw in the replay.
Right.
Digizine with the 3 sheriff kills, Manzine picking up the last 2 kills, and then that previous round was just Manzine getting a 3K off that hero rifle,
Yeah.
and then Digizine coming in for the last 2. So how do we stop these two? Manzine had a pop-off game last time against EG, plus 17, playing as a Sky on top of that, so now we switched that around. Oh, sorry, it was MW0.
Well, I think what NRG could do a little bit more in that C site take when they're taking it is they've seen QCK back there quite a bit,
Yep.
and it's been contact. After the site take, they contact through that orb and play. There, it was Mazine in the back site, and they still were contacting to that back play. So just a second layer, flash, detection, some kind of info before they move into the rest of that C site to stave off these multi-kills that Furia is able to get when it looks like NRG has control of the site.
Yeah. The anchor players are doing a very good job here for Furia on the
Absolutely.
defense. We mentioned there was an opportunity there when Finesse got that kill. Had the Rolling Thunder available in a 2v1. Could have potentially used it on the tap of the spike, but was trying to catch his opponents off guard, thinking that it was actually going to be Digizine that was going to push further up. But now we're all tied up. That Rolling Thunder is still available, as there's no lean towards the A site this time around for NRG. More pressure into a C side split to start. It's gonna be very quiet here.
Right here.
Yeah, like you said, heavy seaside. Just making sure that you can have Victor stay in range of this alarm bot, and they're happy to keep themselves out. I think the guiding light tells them no one's long, but that alarm bot just got pinged, so they're not going to try to push all the way through just yet. Hearing some noise now towards garage, let's pull out the cascade, so they find out where Mazine is for now. They may have actually heard a little bit of alarm bot as they just did that Trailblazer towards long A.
Exactly. NRG, maybe they've heard it pivoting towards that area, but it's Digizine waiting, ADSing with that Vandal. No operator this time. As this may be now NRG leaning towards this Rolling Thunder that's available for Finesse.
So neat with the high tides. It's like that distance of fault line that you can still support the other side of the map here, but you're having to harbor, not the breach. And there's another Rolling Thunder from NRG.
And with that high tide though, look at the high tide from where Digizine's going behind. He's playing an off angle into Sewers and finally gets spotted, has to fall back and help his teammates. The plan comes down, Finesse saves the planner. And that's Artis with a judge with a kill. Oh my god, what a kill by Digizine! The flick across, the advantage back for Furia. And it's up to Victor and Sam. Both on the way open, almost got the flick up to the fit. But it becomes a 1 versus 1. Victor's still out in the open, couldn't reposition.
QCK hits him with the wide swing. Just a full walkout. Oh my gosh, gets the aim down, gets the kill. Furia now taking the lead 6-5. And that was just, they tried to get into the site so fast. Look at MW0 fell out of the sky for a second there. I was like, where'd this guy come from? And then Digizine with the flick. Whew. He's been in aim labs. He has been in, oh my God. He has been just a ball of energy today. On fire for the rest of the team, driving that confidence and gassing everybody else.
So we talked about Sam checking PC, but this time for Digizine, what is it? Verifique OPC? Yele?
Did you just try that?
I tried Google Translate.
My
chat.
gosh.
Let me know if I got that.
I like the try. It's what counts. It's what counts. Let's see if NRG can try to get this last round. No big ultimates to you. Actually, no, they do have Cosmic Divide. Sorry. So they can block off the site and give themselves a little priority once they get the spike down here. Very focused for B. Still in. Up top. Artist on the bookcase goes down as they read that play.
This time the PC was checked. Victor fixes it up, makes it a 3 versus 3, looking for a lineup to clear up the A site. Gonna head towards the spawn, just to try to delay a bit. But NRG off this Cosmic Divide and that utility that's been used are pivoting back towards the B or C site.
Back towards the scene of the crime. They're gonna head in, and rightfully so, expecting that nobody's just going to put themselves on B alone.
Grenade out.
That's the smart play to play retake here, but just watch for info, and Sam takes that info right back.
Oh. Dodging away, putting a start down. MW0 is trying to get that spray onto Crashies after the plant. Playing tight inside the site are NRG. More delays thanks to the Nanostorm being thrown outside from Victor from the B site. So we hear it rotates across. There's the execution back. 2 players alive for Furia to try to go for the retake. The flash is huge. Som falls, and a second one.
No.
It's up to Victor in the front. 1v1, only with the Bulldog, and bites in for the kill.
Oh, wow. Victor stepping forward for the aggression. Catching him off guard, will find the final round. It comes down to the 1v1, and Victor has been showing up. 11 frags on the board here as we start getting towards the second half.
That was another one of those moments where it could have been Furia's round. Somehow, any of these players have what it takes to just pivot the round into their favor, keeping the score very close, 6-6 right here. But before we continue the second half, let's toss it over to Dan Dryad and KD1.
KD1, okay. And that's right, I'm over here with Katie, streamer right now, co-streaming the match of NRG and Furia. And Katie, it is not the first time they were here at the arena. It's been a couple times, I believe, from what we got to see.
Yeah.
What is your favorite thing about the arena?
I think the audience is really cool when they're like rooting for the team I'm rooting for only. But I also like the streamer desk. It's nice. They give me like candy and snacks. And I was like, I want popcorn. They brought me popcorn. So I was like, oh.
Just a little bit of everything. That's nice. Also, for this match, is it going the way that you're expected? We saw a massive comeback for NRG on map 1, and now it's a little bit more even.
Well, for the first one, I was getting nervous, but then I was like, we can beat 9-3, because 9-3 curse, you know? And NRG super slay, so it's fine. And then second game, we're just giving them rounds. They're getting lucky.
They're getting lucky. It's all good. And we see, you said that, you were getting nervous for the first one. I want to ask you, because you also on stream, you play Valorant. What is most stressful, watching a close match or playing a close match?
Watching. Because like you can see everything that's going on. And then like you can see like timings that happen. You're like, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, but when you play, like you can't really tell. At least I can't.
Okay, and then I also want to ask you, you said we're giving them a couple of rounds for this one, but in Furia. What do you think? So you think the prediction is going to be 2-0? How do you think it's going to go?
Yes, it has to be 2-0.
It has to be 2-0?
Yeah, it has to be.
There's no other option.
No.
There's no other option.
No. My heart can't handle it.
You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. I want to ask you, last thing here. So tell everybody your Twitch so you can go and watch it.
Oh, it's just KD1. That's
KD1.
Yeah.
All right, make sure you go watch her and watch the co-stream as well. A little bit stressful, but I think it's all going to go good for you.
It'll be fine. We'll be fine.
As we go into the back take aspects.
Thank you so much, Dan Dryad. And indeed, yes, looks like Riot was able to give Katie everything that she wanted, but we'll see if NRG could give the victory that she wants now. Expecting this 2-0, wants this 2-0, but if it goes to a third map, I don't know, can Furia turn it around? But so far, they've been turning around these eco rounds to tie this map up 6-6. As now it's NRG's turn on the defense.
It's not their second chance now to get rounds on attack. We'll see if they've gotten enough for NRG at 6. Is that what's going to work? Already into the site.
There's a first cover, the second one here with a nice recon dart. Ness gets the kill onto the second one, and Furia decides right away to fall back.
Yeah, the util gap that created Furia's team being 1 at Long C or a few at Long C and 2 in sight did not work out for them. NRG just really able to put the hold on that immediately. And now Khalil goes for the lurk. Try to keep
spotted.
quiet.
Some saw him and just pinged there.
Ping.
Look at that, just a high-low. Off the fly. That's a third player to fall now for Furia. At least they'll get the plant down. QCK is making so much noise. This is heard by artists for sure. So it's going to be a double swing back towards the spawn.
Last player
And
standing.
it's a 1-for-1.
Finish.
Great
Second
push.
one now spotted, and as I mentioned, the flank from behind. The fault line for the assist.
Yeah.
And Artist for the defuse.
Furia really wanted C on that play. That was the initial play. I don't think they wanted to have a second strategy this round, Vansili, because it did not look like they had the positioning for it. The Khalil got his, but Finesse already with the mind that they're going to be flanked was in place. NRG grabbed round 1. Can they keep it together, though? Now's the question. This is where Furia likes to fire back. MW Zera actually with the Sheriff this time. Okay, Digizine did buy one.
Yep.
That would be a little different if both of them didn't. They love to try to get those hero shots in, and we saw Digizine get the beautiful 3K earlier with the Sheriff. So all the possibilities are there.
These two are definitely a menace on those.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Victor going into a frenzy in this round, hesitating on the weapon that he wanted, but decides to play the close range battle instead. Artist trying to prevent the orb from being picked up, but it will still come up.
Really cool high tide there to stop that Marshall attack. They expect Artist on top of the box. Finding him and being able to source that information and move away from what could be the one-shot Marshall they want to prevent.
Victor was looking for the turret swing. And QCK's identifying that too. There's the Allen drone to spot one of those sheriffs. And spot a key player being Digizine. But look at this push up here from Som. That frenzy, here's the footsteps. Now the turret spots him, allowing Victor to play behind the toxic screen. 1v1 against QCK, decides to fall back instead. Meanwhile though, Som does get the frag out onto QCK to support. And this is going to be very difficult for Furia to try to move in for a plant.
Exactly. Energy anchoring looks so good right now on this round. They know they don't have to move. It's on Furia to get to the spike site. And do that. There's one of those sheriffs that we were talking about. They bought up. And it's
the
much
two
more
sheriffs
damage.
here. They were purchased before. Okay. Okay. We can breathe.
For those two, there's enough bullets in there for 2 teams. You got to be careful. 8-6 now as Energy does stave off that eco loss. Will they be able to grab the bonus, though? Still having to buy through for a few more weapons with that light armor. So where's Finesse, Victor, and the rest playing for this round? We'll see that play once again. I feel like that wall hurt him for a moment. Victor was like, thank you, I'll take some free space. And start stinging. So they will split up where the Spectres and Stingers are right now to try and create that power across the defensive line for Energy. With a push up here. Why not? He wants that.
It's time for Artist to punish Digizines on their first blood attempts.
He got a Vandal.
Picks up the rifle, falls back. And that's going to make it difficult now, where Furia will not have the Space Maker to move into the site. Thankfully, though, both controllers are still up, so you can still section out the map on the hit. And Energy's pivoted back here to hold back the B push. Couple of sprays across, and it comes in favor of the attackers as Finesse falls. Counter coming through with this Stinger.
I've got your trail.
We're unfortunately not getting too much out of the bonus round of Energy. The plant comes in for Furia.
Obscuring vision.
It's up to their 2 Stingers, being delayed, being stomped by all of this utility from Furia on the Pulse plant. Here's the Sheriff. Som to answer back. Says, I could do it too, boys.
This is getting sketchy, Vans.
The recall. There's that 1v1. Up to Som. Low HP is going to be MW0. Turns his back around, but MW0 knows better. Swings out for the kill.
Just trying. That becomes very difficult because once MW0 can see the spike and see that it's red, red means dead. Shoot your opponent. If it's still blue, Som's trying to fake. So towards that, it kind of leaned in MW's favor, but you still got to love the play. You love to try. Som almost coming up with another clutch there. 8-7. And that's the bonus. We expected to be going to Furia, but really nice job by Artist to get the first kill. Furia converting another 4v5, even if it was Energy's low buy. Operator on the field for Artist. Up top on B. Is that his high tide? At least he can see over it. For him, not his high tide. But yeah, they're trying to just block it off right away.
Almost got that hit.
Yep.
Digizine, though, meanwhile, has worked towards Garage with support here from MW0. Trying to find this utility left behind by Victor at the beginning of this round. Pivoting back here towards the A site. Owl Drone not going to spot anything yet. Flash was looking to be timed to go behind the Cascade here into A-Long, but it missed because it hit an obstacle, so they're not going to get too much information here for Furia. So pivoting back towards the C site.
This push.
Yeah, from Artis. But it was pinged before. But Khalil looks into the wrong corner. Now to dash in, just to try to close the gap, but the shorty doesn't get the kill. Digizine opens it up. C site now on a 4 versus 4. Some looking to punish somebody recrossing. It's Digizine now with the operator on the attack. The updraft to escape at least with some damage done from Som. Big fault line coming up. Gravity Well too.
Oh my
And that's a
gosh.
kill coming out from Victor. Gravity Well. And now the Cosmic Divide for the attempt of the retake. But it comes Crashies on a 2 versus 1.
Ult is ready.
Letting it go for a delay with a snake bite. Still a second one available. And this might be it here for QCK to be able to
He's
get
good
it.
on that one.
There's
He's good on that
tap.
one.
Trying to get it into the halfway mark. QCK running up.
gonna
The
drop.
wall's about to drop. And with the wall dropping, QCK stays around there for Furia.
Ooh. That's definitely a difficult molly to hit, not knowing the true distance. There's lineups, and then there's an in the moment. And that one fell short, but the wall fell too, and the win goes to Furia. Very nice retake there coming into the C site. They'll find themselves another round to tie us back up here. 2-2 on this second half for both teams. They're playing this one so close.
Oh, yeah.
Another low buy here for NRG.
Here.
They do have a few ultimates if the round warrants it, and they find Furia members on the ground. This Cascade down long fits perfectly if they want to get by it, and you can kind of see them getting that flash into the right position this time.
It's still crazy. We'll hold that thought for a bit.
Hello.
The dash from Artis greeting Crashies as they do have this lower buy in this round, and the Blade Storm unfortunately couldn't get a kill, but forces out the regrowth to come out from MW0 to start. I was just wanting to mention how crazy that was that Digizine was stunned by a fault line and could still flick across being stunned to break a dart. That's pretty insane. Got some muscle in there.
That's the arm movement. You go up to the shoulder on that one. You're swinging all around the table. Now towards mid, a little crossfire with Victor's turret. He's got set up there on the site. We might be catching the guiding light here in just a second as the team pushes through.
This is big.
Oh, what a play.
The first kill. And unfortunately couldn't escape. But that actually makes Furia hesitate for a bit.
Yeah.
There was a 4-player stack on NRG at the A site. We're trying to funnel it back from Victor's kill on B. But this is a smarter move now for Furia to move across with the Reckoning into the open C site, rather.
Yeah, I love that. Section off anybody in sight and slow everybody that's going to be coming in now.
Thrifty in the sights now for NRG. Crashes with a second one, upgrading into a Phantom. Artis also has a Vandal that he picked up. Now he fights back with finesse. The frenzy
3v1.
kill onto Khalil. And it's up to QCK once again, but this time with no utility. The updraft from Artis, and with the triple swing across.
Oh my gosh.
The Thrifties answered back for NRG on the defense.
How can you not be good at thrifties this game? You just got 3 against you. You're like, that's how you do it? Perfect. NRG
Thrifty.
taking that into account and delivering it back to Furia there on the round. Guns in hand. The credits are there. And this retake. The sheriffs all game have been on point.
Yeah.
Just got to say that. Everybody's been firing off here as NRG's come up big on this one. Round 18, 9-8. Another round back in the favor of NRG as Furia will call the timeout. Post plants getting a little scattered.
A very tough one indeed, and we need to regain our composure. Had the opportunity before to speak to Frost a couple of weeks back here for the VCTs in Americas, and they always identified that they are a true contender here, Furia, into the VCT Americas, but always falling short, maybe overheating sometimes on some of these kills. But that's changed a bit into this week over here. It's been a lot of, yes, these aggressive pushes that's coming out on their eco rounds and getting good picks, but there's still great protocol behind it and not continue to push forward off of that to really regain into these victories that came into their favor on the defensive half. But now you want to bring those protocols back here for Furia to understand how you want to play these post plants now that you have the attack side.
Remember, we said Furia likes to call those timeouts when the ults are ready here. One of those is for Digizine on the Blade Storm. Ecos have been trouble for both teams. See if Furia can pick up another one of theirs here on this one. The Killjoy utility goes all the way back to A here for NRG, and they're gonna start pushing forward.
And even off the pace, the Hunter's Fury to come out. Artist with the kill. And then with the assist on the other one. Crashes gets a second blood. And this coming out of a timeout off this half buy of Furia. They haven't even made it out of spawn before they lose 3 players. Now QCG is just gonna make a lot of noise trying to do some plays. But there's one player just behind it trying to greet them, but gapped into the smoke, and that's Victor right there. Right click classic at least into the headshot. And this Poisonor is about to come down. Second kill with the Frenzy. And you're gonna end it there finally.
That is actually one of my favorite defensive strategy protocols. You get a Brimstone smoke out towards where a Killjoy turret would be on grass. You have your jet going forward into window. There's a breach stun coming into the window along with it. Fnatic does this almost all the time, and it's just such a clean looking strategy. NRG able to put a little offense in their defense that round.
But this is where it becomes important. This is why you pulled the timeout for Furia. What can you do now with the rifle round? Seekers and Pit available. An opportunity to play a tight post plant.
Trail.
The Seekers are out early, actually, for an early C-side control. Spike finally getting picked up here by Khalil. Digizine somehow still manages to get a second kill. Big flash coming out for the assist to open up the C-site. And off this plant, there's also a lockdown ready for Khalil.
Spike planted.
Just holding long C. There's going to be a firing range coming through there. A little bit of an artist shot on Digizine's hair bun there as they gets taken down on default.
Now Cove is being tossed late, trying to protect the lockdown, now being placed down by Khalil. Rolling Thunder available, so we're gonna push this through. That's gonna stun a lot of players, but Khalil fully stunned! Gets 2 kills! And NRG had to fall back. Crashes has to save his weapon into the next round.
All those pings are a nightmare. Bing, 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 bing. Cannot try that one. Furia coming back again on a big round for themselves. And that was just everyone up C, guarding each other, guarding flanks, guarding that trade, and they move back together down long C. Something we've seen affect teams and not be able to shoot through smokes or it gets too messy, but they still actually gained a bit of control in sight with Digizine there for a moment. This will go right back into a timeout here for NRG. Chet feels the need to discuss and talk. And you see how they took the site moving forward. Oh, I mean, you can't do much about that, Vansily.
Nope.
That one may still be in the discussion right now, but I think they're looking at other things here. And maybe not to give up so much or be so aggressive, even with that delay of the game. Still let Furia come to the spike sites to get that result in the round. I think NRG's given up a bit too much.
And you saw in that previous round, Furia had the Seekers to use the lockdown, so 2 of those ults being utilized to secure that round. This round, they still have the Pit available, but this timeout that was called by Chen also gives an opportunity for you to discuss that maybe this might not be the round where you want to use the Pit because Victor does have the lockdown to try to counter that right away.
Right. Depending on where it's going to push you out.
And they don't have the composition to really try to break that utility or break the lockdown even.
No Sova. Nothing to get it through any walls or find where Victor could be put in lockdown. So what's the choice for Furia here to make sure this Viper's Pit becomes the most valuable? Honestly, it could just be pushing a team off, and if they can get to garage and throw it down somewhere for the retake, that would almost be immense for the way it's to be played. A little bit of this mid pressure again as they keep control of Garage. Saw him there under his own star.
With the high tie, we're dashing through the spray through the smoke. A flash for the assist once again, but Victor's not blinded out of that one. And there's that pit. Victor staying alive, 30 HP. We haven't planted that spike yet.
Good focus towards B here. You have Artis pushed all the way up long right now, allowing the team to know they can crunch a little bit on this space. C may be a retake, but they don't have to worry about that anymore with Viper's Pit down. They do identify a low health Mazine.
Now the lockdown finally comes in.
Yeah.
And the pivot towards Garage, and that's where Som is still waiting with the shorty. Yes, popped right away.
I'm out of stuff. Hawk out.
Now there's 38 seconds left on the clock, but look at the health of the Furia players. Regrowth already been used, so they have nothing to work with in terms of HP.
They can't afford to take long, right? 30 seconds here. They haven't done anything with long, and this is going to be Artis just staring at them with an op. Oh, the high tide just long enough on that play. They're still trying to fake out for a retake on B. Or rehit, sorry.
On the other end here. 13 seconds left. We mentioned the low HP Victor first contact. Now the jump across can't do too much.
Down B.
Now as you're storming through, trying to waste that clock down, now you've secured the round. One more to go, trying to save his weapon. That's MW0. He's gonna be able to get it, but at the end of the day, it's still the round for NRG.
Yeah.
Moving up at 11.
And as close as NRG was to B site, they were happy to play retake on just about everything. If Artis got pushed off, it was a retake A. As they went into B with a Viper's Pit down, they were patient. They're like, okay, plant. Because once you plant, we are gonna flood that Viper's Pit with our utility. That's Furia could not get themselves to get that spike down in a secure location. Really nicely shut down by NRG. Good control of the extremities to make sure B did not get lost. Here, a little bit more mid-play from Furia. I think they're liking to keep this at a distance to figure out what NRG's doing first. They have not been favoring A long at all, even for space, or even to stop NRG from getting an ult.
Now Som forced to fall back. The hit, the lineup that came from the Killjoy to clear out towards the Garage, allowing Digizine to dash in. But Som still winning at the platform. Digizine's trying to get a timing. Aftershot to try to delay, try to push them back. But Furia still committed into the C-site hit. Finesse answers back, but Mazine and Furia are still battling. And winning these one by one.
A little bit of that second layer with the cascade going out towards spawn. That's what we were talking about before, where NRG was finding themselves going down at that default position. Furia take one step more to get another round. Really great on the teamwork from Furia here. It just seems like the power of numbers for them can't be beat at this point. Sometimes you still get the trade wrong or the utility doesn't hit, but every time they're able to be behind each other one after the other, it just seems like they steamroll a site. And you can see NRG, all those X's on the minimap are just on the entrance back in. They really didn't gain any ground.
And you have to see from that execution from Furia as well, this Viper toxic screen that goes and split towards the C site. The smoke started being thrown from the dash in from the Digizine. It also is cutting the site in an area where you can't get too much value out of Finesse with the flash on the retakes.
Yeah.
If everybody's focusing on that left side of that C site.
It's so cool because you can either take the fight on Garage side or you can take the fight on the other side, or at both times, depending on where your initiator utility can fall.
So with that, it becomes open season pretty much when
Yeah.
NRG are trying to move
tough.
back into the site. No assist from, as I mentioned before, the flashes to try to blind your opponents.
Yeah.
And a counter lot on potentially Crashy's utility as a Sova.
It plays off a fundamental. The moment you can't help a teammate, you kind of back out of the site, right? And cutting each other off like that does exactly that to your opponents. Kind of makes them scatter. They cannot cover. Here, Artis hasn't moved for the last few rounds from long, but he will be ready to dash, but take this aggressive shot.
I suggest you move.
Nope.
Reckoning and Trailblazer.
See you later.
Now dashing away. 10-11 is the scoreline as Furia is looking to tie up the game in this second map of the series. Plat now for long in sewers as the delay continues to come out. Mazine being a thorn on the side of the retake attempts of NRG with this utility from the harbor.
Recon ready.
At least we have an aftershock kill. That's up from the heavens, down towards hell. And that's MW0. No flashes to fight back. Fault line then to come through, and that might be the call for NRG to finally move in, and that's Digizine holding at the bottom, now being pinged out. Trying to look and trying to escape, but somehow, wow, Madzine runs through the smoke with a crossfire setup. All those kills just happened instantly.
Got it.
I'm not sure how they didn't take Madzine down in that right corner. Playing the angle, didn't strafe out. I think he made NRG come out a little bit more than they wanted. Let's see it right here. One.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, didn't strafe out as much and then takes the space. So tucking himself into that corner continuously makes Sam think, have to check, wants to kill, then has to force it. Madzine finds another kill. Just the little moments and being patient here, paying off for Furia. Now towards C again. Remember what I said about this death ball? They hardly stop.
Yeah. That definitely had to be the player on the window on the retake on the A site to try to get that pick into Graffiti.
What a beautiful shot there. Nice job by Obs to just show how this protocol unfolds from Furia, and NRG pushing the other side of the map. And we're going to have to play a little bit of a retake, or at least lose these weapons towards the spike. And yeah, that was clean. You almost want to know if like it works against the defense. Well, yeah, you can see what Furia has in place for these rounds. Just at the last moments, giving us different strategies we haven't seen when you need these last few rounds to fake your opponent out.
And look at NRG.
Hello, family photo.
They're just staying towards spawn. And Furia knows this. An opportunity for them to just chase down these kills, die, get ult orbs, do whatever they can. And that's what NRG was trying not to give away. Ult orb kills. Because now this potentially allows the Blade Storm to come through. Getting very close to even more ults coming out here. Madzine's one away from the Reckoning.
NRG having trouble on the retakes. 2 and 6 so far, and that has given the rounds over to Furia. The speed in which they take these spike sites, Van Silly, leaves little to be countered. Again, it looks like they'll try to fake this play they do towards C. Spike is down here, so they may give the same utility, but not hit it as hard.
Especially when Sam is playing the forward position and there's no more utility following behind that.
Reckoning.
Here is a tap of that spike. So there is that Reckoning available for Madzine, the Blade Storm available for Digizine. As it boils down to this last final round, NRG does have an opportunity to delay with the Hunter's Fury. So running that clock down for NRG, they'll be happy with that if Fury continues to default to work the map very slowly in the last round of regulation. Sam and Victor, though, pushing out towards grass. All of Furia grouped up here, slowly inching forward into the A site. NRG hesitating, looking to play the retake game instead. Understanding this Reckoning about to come out. 43 seconds left into the round. Blade Storm missing out from Digizine. No punishment coming out for the player pushing towards spawn, which being Artist. And there is that plant coming down. Hunter's Fury is not going to be used. It's going to be used for the retake instead. With a Cosmic Divide available for Psalm 2. And the fault line initiates the re-hit and the retake attempt from NRG. And there's that first Hunter's Fury kill onto QCK. Gets a second one onto Madzine. But Digizine is pushing towards the spawn. Here's that double flank coming in here from NRG. Trying to clear towards the site. It's not being looked here on the right. And Khalil does get the kill. It's traded up. It's on a 2 versus 1 up to Crashies. Making a lot of noise here. He has to do it. But Digizine turns around. And so does Furia to turn around over and the map over in their favor. And with that, we will be going into a third map.
There's something about these teams just makes NRG struggle at the end. We saw them go to double OT versus MIBR as well. This one doesn't reach that, but the end of the game just seems closing it out, a struggle for NRG here. That defensive side, we mentioned they only got, what, so many 6 on attack. Was that enough for when they moved on to defense? And they could not get the retakes going onto Furia. It just did not work. The amount of eco rounds that went back and forth in this match as well, I'm sure the desk will talk about it, but kind of absurd what the teams were giving up in terms of that.
At the end of the day, too, you could read the round well. You could call the strats as well as you want here for Finesse, but when you have players like Medzine and also players like Digizine that doesn't seem to let go of the momentum that he's built from that first map on Vine, it becomes a very dangerous series right now for NRG. So with that, we're going to go to a break, and when we come back, the final map to decide it all on Pearl.
Red Bull gives you wings.